Hey, I'm Dr. Greg, the grass doctor. Winter can often be hard on your lawn. Freezing and thawing and wet soils can often lead to thin turf that will benefit from a little TLC in the spring. Follow along as I discuss steps to be taken in the spring for a better cool season lawn year-round. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell button to keep up to date on proper practices for your lawn. One of the most important things you can do in the spring is to get a jump on weeds. If your lawn is thin at all, you'll likely have a number of winter annuals that, unless they are taken care of, will produce seed that will germinate in the fall. To break that cycle, we need to work on thickening the lawn up through best management practices and killing existing winter weeds before they set seed to reduce the weed seed bank in the soil. The good news about winter weeds is that most of them are pretty easy to take care of. Broadleaf weeds such as henbit, chickweed, and shepherd's purse are pretty easily controlled with a three-way product containing the active ingredients 2,4-D, MCPP, and dicamba. Weeds must be actively growing to metabolize this herbicide, so do not apply this product if temperatures are below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have a problem with annual bluegrass in the spring, the best time to treat is in the fall. Apply a pre-emergent herbicide prior to any germination in the fall to get control of annual bluegrass. This fall application will also stop winter broadleaf weeds from germinating. The other thing to think about at this time of the year is that summer annuals such as crabgrass and goosegrass will soon be germinating, and we need to get a handle on them as well. The best way to control summer annual grassy weeds is to apply a pre-emergent herbicide before the weeds begin to germinate. Products containing the active ingredients prodiamine dithiopyr or pendimethalin will do a great job controlling both crabgrass and goosegrass as well as various other weeds. Timing of application is critical to your success. Depending on where you are in the world, crabgrass may start germinating in very early spring or late winter, or it could be much later in the spring. If you're not sure when crabgrass begins to germinate in your area, reach out to your local county agent or a garden center employee for help. A good indicator plant for timing of spring lawn activities is the shrub forsythia. Nothing is ever set in stone with Mother Nature, but when forsythia just begins to bloom, temperatures are right for planting grass seed. When forsythia is dropping its blooms, crabgrass will be germinating. If you're ever late on your pre-emergent application, it's best to opt for dithiopyr as it has pre- and early post-emergent activity on seedlings. Whenever handling pesticides, consult the label for proper protective equipment you should be using. Contrary to popular opinion, spring is not the time to be applying large amounts of fertilizer to your lawn. In a cool season lawn, the majority of the needed nitrogen should be applied in the fall. Applying a little nitrogen in the spring is okay to kickstart growth and color, but anything more than 0.5 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet should be avoided. High nitrogen applications in the spring lead to excessive top growth at the expense of root growth, so you have a lot of clippings, but not a healthier plant. This can lead to higher water needs during the summer. Heavy spring nitrogen applications can also lead to a more succulent plant that is more susceptible to disease and insect pressure during the summer. Fall is probably the best time to aerify a lawn because there are several months before the stresses of summer impact the lawn. Aerification is a serious stress on the grass, so you want to perform this activity when the grass is actively growing and not under stress. Aerifying your lawn can help with removing the organic layer at the top of the soil known as thatch, reducing soil compaction, improving gas exchange, and it can enhance seeding. Depending on whether you are growing a grass that tends to produce thatch, how much you are fertilizing and watering, or how much traffic are on your lawn, you may not need to aerify each year. As temperatures begin to rise and your lawn begins to grow in the spring, it's okay to go out and give it a trim. The first mowing will remove any brown leaf tips from winter and will start letting a little more light through the canopy to help warm up the soil. I typically mow my lawn at 4 inches tall, but in the spring I'll go out for the first mowing at 3 inches tall just to clean the lawn up and remove the brown leaves. Since many locations get a lot of rain in the spring, be sure to not run your mower over wet soils as to not compact your soil. For Canada and the northern United States, spring is a good time to seed your lawn. For the rest of the United States where cool season grasses are grown, fall is actually the best time to seed. If your lawn is thin coming out of winter, you may want to overseed or patch small areas with some seed to help fill it in. Whenever seeding in spring, however, you need to determine which is more important, putting some seed down or applying a pre-emergent herbicide, as you cannot do both with regular pre-emergent products. If your lawn is only about 50 to 60% covered, it may make more sense to seed in the spring. However, if your lawn is mostly covered in grass, I would opt for a herbicide application and make sure I'm fertilizing and watering properly to help thicken the lawn up. If you do plant in the spring, be sure to apply the herbicide mesotrione, as it is safe on cool season grass seedlings but will stop crabgrass from germinating. The winter is the best time to get your mower ready for the mowing season ahead. Things such as sharpening the blade and changing the oil during the winter mean that when the grass starts to grow, you'll be ready with your equipment. Besides, this gives you an excuse to spend some time with your beloved lawn care equipment when you normally wouldn't be. Do you have to do every one of these practices each spring? No. The non-negotiables for me are the pre-emerge herbicide application and getting your lawnmower ready to go before the season starts. Everything else I've listed here won't necessarily hurt your lawn, but your lawn just may not need it. Pick and choose between these practices based on your conditions and what your lawn needs. Your lawn doesn't need to be perfect overnight, but by choosing the proper maintenance practices throughout the entire year, your lawn is going to get better and better and better over time.